home, we logged on to guitar.com.
How much do you practice now as opposed to how much you used to practice when you first got started?
Well, back in the day, I mean, must have been practicing about 12 hours a day, or sometimes longer than that. I'd be playing actually till I get home at school, because I remember times sitting around and places at Hendrix and Randy Rhodes and, Franklin, everybody until I'd be about, get home around 2:30. I wouldn't quit playing until I went to school about 6 the next morning. So, you're talking 12, 16 hours every jam. Then, just basically pass out when I got to school. When I'm home, I'll still sit down with a metronome and stuff like that, and, jam on stuff. But we're out on the road, I'll usually jam on the, if we have a long drive, jam on the bus or something like that. Definitely a couple hours a day. When you're on the road and you're banging it out every day, sometimes I'll go a day, I won't even touch the guitar, 2-3 days, just let them get burnt out for playing, Because you want to keep it fresh, you know what I mean? When you're on the road, it's a different thing. You're playing the same songs every night, a lot of times, and then, you don't want to get stale. But I mean, usually when I'm home, I'll definitely jam for about, jam for a bit before we go on and stuff like that. But, usually I'm playing every day because you want to keep the chops up and stuff like that. I'm just trying to learn something new. I think when you're on the road, it's different because, I mean, musically, you just musically you're getting burnt out. The last thing you want to hear is music when you get back on the bus, you know what I mean?
What are some of the exercises you use to warm up typically, or some of the things you practice?
I did pentatonic scale, so, and usually I pick everything, so, it's just, if I'm just sitting around, I just go over certain little patterns. I mean, it's just like obviously when I first started playing, it was all chromatic scales. I mean, it's just about getting a pick in hand together. But nowadays it's just it's about just. I just go over, a bunch of patterns. I mean, like I said before, if I'm home, taking around the house, I'll just usually jam with a, set a metronome out and just go over some, a lot of pentatonic patterns or something like that. Or I'll just make, I'll make up my own patterns. Just come up with different patterns at the house and stuff like that. Just so you got different freaking things to do that present a challenge for you, as opposed to just sitting there doing the same goddamn thing every day,
You mentioned earlier that you pick everything out. Is there a particular reason you go for that sound? It's like some of the legato style picking that.
I mean, it's not that it's better or anything. I mean, obviously. Technically, it's a harder thing to do is pick every note. You listen to players like Steve Morris or Alvin Neal and stuff like that. John McLaughlin, who usually picking everything. But when you're doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, I mean, it just presents a different sound. I mean, I can do something like. If you're doing hammer-on, it's just a different sound altogether. So, I mean, it just depends on what you want. I mean, some players pick a lot of stuff and also mix them with hammer-ons like guys like Gary Moore and stuff like that. It just sounds amazing, It's just a different sound, but it sounds a little bit smoother as opposed to like so staccato picked all the time. It depends on what you want to do,
Do you ever do any sweeping at all? Sweep picking?
I sweep the wife's got me sweeping the house all the time.
Okay.
Dog run, I gotta clean up all the crap, while I go shit and stuff like that. So, No, I never really got into it because Ingve Malmsteen had put such a trademark on it, and it's his thing, So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, he's got that thing cornered, so, that mark of playing, so, for me, that's why I got the pentatonic scales, and I pick them all just because everyone else is kind of doing 3 notes a string or harmonic minor scales and stuff like that, so, No, I never got into the whole, the whole sleep. Stuff like that. I mean, it's not that I can't do it. It's just that, there's really no place for it in my plan,
How about, speaking of trademarks, obviously, the biggest Zakk Wylde trademark is the
Drinking beer?
Besides drinking beer. I've seen on the discussion boards 1,000 times, everybody's going, how do I make it squeal like Zakk Wylde?
No, it's fun. I mean, those are just, it's Philly gimmicks. It's just called false harmonics, pinch harmonics, whatever the hell. But ultimately, it's just down picking. You usually kind of fit the nail. Stuff like that, just scream. But as far as the low notes, same thing. The same thing with me when I first started doing it. And after a while, it's just like anything else. You just it'll be second nature anyway. It's just not just doing it all the time. But when I do the albums, I usually double track it, so that's what usually gives the sound that it is. Really
nice guitar, you did a lot of tapping. Can you get some hints on how you do some of your tapping stuff?
Oh, the tap. I don't do it. It's not. I don't play the Eddie Van Halen thing. That's like once again, I first saw Ozzy. That's Eddie Van Halen's thing. Eddie Van Halen's thing was a switch and everything. So you got to find your own thing. But it's like with the tap thing. I'll just do it's just, it's because I don't have a landing bar, so it would be, if I'm going to do something, it would be like, something. Just stuff like that. That's just, just like goofy trick shit, you know what I mean? That's not, it's, you put it away, that's not guitar playing, you know what I mean? As far as the tap and stuff, I really don't get. I never got into it because it was Eddie Van Halen. That's such a trademark on that thing. It's just you're never going to do it any better than he does. So it's just like do something different. When I do taps, it's either something like that or just because of the fact that I don't have a landing.
What are you tuning to on the new album? It sounds really low.
Well, I'll keep it standard, but I don't use any weird tunings. So what I'll end up doing is, just show me a drop in B, the low E's or whatever it is I want. Maybe I'll do a song in B. Just drop the thing down, the actual strength, whatever key you're going to be in. It's an A. Same thing, just drop down to A. I think Count for God on the record isn't same thing, but it's just pretty much see how low you can get it, but I use like a 60 gauge string up to a 10. you get your normal 10 gauge, so you can still bend you bend the hell out of them, but with low stuff, this way it won't be going out of tune, it'll bounce back, So I mean, think about it, it's just common sense. I mean, bass guitar is thicker strings, thicker sounds, So, but it's just to get out of the normal playing and standard E tuning,
Obviously, the fixed bridge helps do that a lot.
What's that?
The fixed bridge really helps with that.
Well, I mean, this thing here, I did this just because somebody gave me the guitar years ago, and they strung it up like that. And then, I just do stupid, it's whatever, we just do certain things. I've used it like that, but I mean, the whole thing is, it just seems like there's less stress on the string. Because I don't break as many strings by doing it that way. Because otherwise, with less fall, with the way that the thing's mounted, when I come through with the strings this way and it goes straight up, the angle is so sharp. A lot of times, I'll break an A string or I break a D string a lot. So throughout all the years of me doing it like this, I can count it on probably one hand how many strings I've broken on tour.
Tell a little bit about the difference between your project now, Black Label Society, as apart from previous acoustic albums you put out. Like, what was sort of the motivator for the heavier sound on the newer stuff as opposed to the acoustic album?
I don't know. I have to say, at the end of the day, I'm a musician. I'm not a rock star or whatever the hell that means. This is the reason why I got into it. I love Black Sabbath, and and after that, when I started getting another, guitar and learning about other guitar players like Al Neal and John McCarthy and Rocco and Frank Marino from the Hollywood Rush and Robin Trower and all those other guys, and Hendrix and everything. I mean, it's all about the music, and I really had nothing to do with anything else. So, but I listen to everything from Sugar. These are a bunch of great musicians as well. Drummers and that band like that is so beyond heavy. I mean, but it depends if, if I'm going to lift the notes, I'll listen to that stuff. I mean, it's just like, at the end of the night, I'll drink beer and kick back and relax. I'll listen to something by Neil Young, you know what I mean? So, some of this acoustic stuff. And, it's not poppy, cheesy, fluff stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's real music, So, I would think, that's the only reason why I can do. I've done things like Book of Shadows, with the Ozzy stuff, flat out metal stuff, because that's what I love, and that's where I came from. But, later on, as through all the years of playing, that's when I got introduced to stuff like, Allman Brothers, Skinner, Neil Young, certain bands like that. But, it's just a matter of how, being a musician, experimenting and doing different things and trying to see how good you can get. I didn't pick up the guitar and, get chicks. And if I wanted to get chicks, I joined the Backstreet Boys, you know what I mean? For me, it's all a matter of, trying to see how good you can get, trying different styles of music, and, it's just a sheer love of playing,
Do you anticipate doing any more acoustic stuff in the future? Because there's nobody else that plays the acoustic stuff like you do.
I do. Well, the guys now have to change it. That's Jerry Cantrell and the guys, and they do an ass-kicking job with the acoustic stuff. Mixing the heavy stuff with the light stuff. But, we do it with Black Label, just we call it good old-fashioned fuck music volume 1, But, we'll probably do it, because I'm always, when I'm home, I'm hanging out with my family and stuff like that, I'll jam on the piano and stuff like that. And, when you sit down with an acoustic guitar or a piano, it definitely, just because of the sound of the instrument, it evokes, different emotions. You're not going to start writing metal riffs on a piano, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe if you're drunk enough you can, but it's just like, for me, when I'm sitting down at the piano, it makes me want to write something, it's more reflective, and it's just, more of a deeper, intimate thing,